Welcome to Rotary and Serving Our Community. My name is Wade Nomura, and today we're going to take a look at a project being done in Nicaragua. Outstanding project there, also done in conjunction with GoCare. And with me today I have two guests. We have Jane McClenahan and Michelle Cekov. Welcome.
Thank you.
Michelle, we're going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a self-employed bookkeeper out of Ventura, California, and I'm also the president and CEO of GoCare. I am a member of the Rotary Club of Ventura East.
Great. And Jane?
And I'm past district governor of Rotary, years 07-08. I'm one of the very first women Rotarians. I am a retired director of a museum and a director on a GoCare board.
Great, great, outstanding. Michelle, tell us how you got involved with GoCare.
Well, I got involved with GoCare back in 2001. My father, Jan Lindsay, was the founding member of GoCare along with the Rotary Club of Ventura East. They were doing projects down in Nicaragua, and a lot of Rotary projects, you go down, you put in water wells, you give something, and then you leave. And they wanted to do a project that was a little more substantial and work in a preschool down there. And we needed staff and supplies and all of that. So GoCare was founded as a cooperating organization to Rotary to do projects for the Rotary Club of Ventura East.
Great. So it was actually created with the projects of Rotary in mind at that time.
Always.
Outstanding, outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
What is the long-term mission of this project and what you're looking for to, I would say, accomplish from that project?
Well, we believe that we can eliminate poverty through education. And so we work in very impoverished communities offering educational opportunities so that our students can find employment.
Great. Now, does GoCare reach beyond, say, Nicaragua, or is that right now your primary focus?
Well, we've been in Nicaragua for 15 years.
Wow.
And prior to that, we've been in Mexico and in Honduras, but right now we're only in Nicaragua.
In Nicaragua. How many times do you actually travel down to Nicaragua to take a look at those projects?
I'm down there, my goal is to get down there at least 4 times a year.
Wow, okay, outstanding. How about you, Jane? How did you get involved with GoCare?
Well, Jan Lindsay is one of my very best Rotarian friends, and he invited me down there when they were doing a youth leadership conference down there. And I went down and was so impressed that I'm a GoCare person.
Good. So what you saw there definitely impressed you.
Yes.
Okay.
Just it's an amazing project.
Good, good. When you got there, were there expectations that you had in mind of what you would see, how the conditions were before or after?
Well, I had expectations, but we were going to an impoverished area. And what I think is an impoverished area and what is an impoverished area in Nicaragua were light years apart from each other. And it was very impactful for me. And I knew with Rotary's help and the things that I could do with Rotary that we could help in that area.
True. Now, one thing I noticed working in that area, mostly in Honduras area, is that the landscape is so lush because it's a tropical area. So it seems kind of contradictory, what the living conditions that you actually have versus the landscape being so green and lush. Did you notice that part of it? Did you see that?
Well, they live in the landscape.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is
The
true.
places in their homes, they live outdoors a lot because the weather is pretty nice, and at least in Managua, in the area where we've been. So they have a lot of respect for their living area,
True.
and so that it's interesting to see for us who live in nice houses and
True.
things like that. Yeah.
That is true. Michelle, when you got involved with GoCare, was that something that you had planned to do in your lifetime, or something that was kind of?
Originally, no. Originally, no. My father got me involved, and I was the treasurer for a number of years, and I would see everything from the U.S. side of things. So everybody's receipts, and I knew the projects that were going on, but I didn't get down there until 2006. And when I saw the kids that were benefiting from the programs and some adults, it was just, I was locked in from that point.
Good. So it was something you did not expect to see or feel. There's
Exactly.
No expectations when you got there.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's great. What is probably one of the main points or features that you saw in GoCare with this project specific that made you decide that this is what you want to keep doing?
Well, I like the idea that GoCare is there for the long haul, and we can work and partner with many Rotary clubs to do all kinds of projects down there. And we're in communities and we know the people, and because we're working with them every day. And so we focus on the education, and it's nice to bring in Rotary clubs to work on the sanitation or the health or economic development, that type of thing. It's just that partnership that we can have and work together.
Pretty much the common goal then of both organizations. Sounds like great. And Jane, how about you? What expectations did you have? I know you came into GoCare a little bit later.
Well, actually, we just got back a couple of weeks ago from being down there, and I've been going down there for maybe the last 6 years, and we've seen the young people come in maybe junior high or beginning high school year, go to the school, go to the learning center, work, come back to give back to work with the children themselves, the students that are there. And now we've seen them graduated from the university. These same kids that would have not gotten an education at all, we see them as, like I say, I'm old because they're babies, and now they're young adults. And to see their progression, and that we definitely had changed their lives.
True. Well, 15 years in a project like that, I mean, that's the next generation that we're talking about, seeing the results of.
Yeah.
So that's outstanding. Let's take a look at some of the slides. I know you brought with us a few slides that you have.
Okay.
Looks like the first slide, I believe, are before and after pictures, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. The first slide that you're going to see is in the community of Ojai dos. And we're working with the Managua Rotary Club as well as Ventura East on a global grant that's putting all the furnitures and fixtures inside the buildings. And then GoCare is doing the refurbishing work to bring them to a state where we can use them. And we have a partnership with the government to use the buildings as long as we provide free access to adult education.
So GoCare actually becomes the partner then for the structures itself, since the foundation won't fund that part of it. Is that
Yes.
the reason for that? Great.
Exactly. And then we run the programs and do all the monitoring of the programs afterwards.
Got it. Okay, good. And then the next picture you have.
Oh, the second picture, that's actually, I think, might be a little bit out of order. This is our community center in Poncenal when we were building it. And this was on a piece of land that the government of Nicaragua let us use. Same thing, as long as we offer adult ed, we can use the land free.
Oh, nice.
So the third picture, this is during our construction at Ojai dos. This is during the refurbishment process of the Learning Center.
Very nice. Looks like they did a great job of getting it started.
Oh, yeah.
Good. And then the next picture.
Oh, this is, these are the washrooms.
Okay.
There's a school there with a number of students on the same property where the Learning Center is. And they just had an outhouse for the services there. And so we were able to put in the bathrooms.
Very nice. Next picture you have shows a workforce.
This is a workforce doing refurbishment work. This is the second phase of the grant, actually. This is on the property of La Union, and this one we're refurbishing as well. This will be our second learning center as part of the global grant.
Outstanding.
And then the next picture is of Ojai dos, right at the end of the construction refurbishment work.
Very nice. It looks like you guys did a great job of that.
Okay.
Now, is that work actually contracted by Rotarians? Is it the volunteer staff, or is it paid for by workers from down there in the area?
Okay, the refurbishment work, we always like to use local workers to give back to the community and give employment to the members of the community. So GoCare paid for this refurbishment work as part of our budget for the year.
Okay, good. Then we have one more picture showing another finished product, I believe, of one of the other.
Yeah, this one's almost finished. This is at La Union also, and this is finished now, but this picture was right at the end of the project. Yeah.
Okay, good. Next picture you have, it's a garden picture.
Oh, Jane has a good story to go along
Jane.
with this one.
This is Nefer.
Okay.
And right now, in this picture, she is very young. This was 15 years ago.
Wow.
And the way this whole project kind of came about was that she was out of hope, and 3 of her other friends didn't know what to do about it. So they went to the Catholic priest there and said, "Father, what can we do? We want our children to have better lives than what we have." And so the priest told him, "Well, the Rotary Club of Granada is going to be meeting. Why don't you go to the Rotary Club of Granada's meeting?" And it just so happens that Jan Lindsay and 4 or 5 other Rotarians happened to say, "Let's go to that meeting." And so let's go to the meeting. And they didn't know that these women were going to be there. And after they heard Nefer's story, Jan, and the meeting's over, and Jan walks out and he goes, "We have to do something about this." And he changed all our lives with that statement.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And Nefer came back. We were down there 2 years ago, and we were celebrating Mother's Day. And in Nicaragua, they celebrate Mother's Day for a week. And so we had this big dinner for all the women that work in GoCare. At that dinner, Nefer said, "Look at me, look at my hair, look at my makeup, and look at my outfit." And she said, "My hair was done by the women in the beauty cosmetology class. My makeup was done in the beauty class, and my dress was made by the women in the sewing class." And she said to Jan, "Jan, you've given us hope. We had no hope, and now we know that we can change."
Wow, that's
which
outstanding.
makes us keep going all the
Yeah,
time.
so those programs, I assume, were actually part of the GoCare process then?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Nice.
that's the adult education class.
Wow, okay,
Yeah.
Outstanding. Our next picture shows a workforce team, I believe.
Well, these are actually, this is one of GoCare's programs, and it was started by a Rotarian. So they took the RILA program and they adapted it for Nicaragua, and we call it ALJ, and it's our leadership program based on RILA, adapted for Nicaragua, and we take 80 kids each year up into the mountains and do this program.
Nice.
This is one of the ones what got me down there, but at this particular spot we were in the mountains, and most of these children never leave their community. And our problem when we were there is that the kids were cold. They have never been cold in their entire life. So we're going through all our luggage and pulling out all our sweatshirts and T-shirts and everything to get the kids warm again.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that would be
never
the
been
case.
cold, yeah.
It's true.
And then the picture after that is just showing the kids and some of the Rotarians that came to the program. Rotarians have been our speakers at the program. We do the leadership building activities. It's really amazing, and the kids come back and they just say they're changed. And we kind of challenge them to go back and be leaders in their community.
So how many attendees do you usually have at these camps?
We try for 80 students each
okay.
year, and then we bring back the counselors that were attendees from prior years, and so we usually have about 10 to 15 of those.
And GoCare funds the camp itself?
We fund most of it. We have been having Rotary-sponsored students who sponsor kids to come, as well as other NGOs in Nicaragua. They'll sponsor kids like from the orphanage to come and that type of thing.
Very nice.
So they never have this kind of opportunity, and some of the kids are amazed that they get 3 meals a day.
Yeah, that would be true. Now, how about the local Rotary clubs down there? Do they also participate in this?
Those are where many of our speakers come
Okay.
from the Rotary Club of Managua and the Rotary Club of Granada.
Okay, great. Next picture we have of a classroom, younger age group it looks like.
Yeah, this was our preschool. It's no longer in operation, but we are planning on building a preschool at the new facility. And these kids, these are probably one of our first groups of students that attended the classes. And it's been an amazing program. And this offers an opportunity for the moms to go out and work without having the older kids have to stay home and watch the kids. The illiteracy rate, I mean, 75% of the population isn't going past the 6th grade. So we're giving them a foundation in education, but also helping the older kids not have the burden of watching their younger siblings.
Right, right. Now, also in this program, did you include nutrition, meals, things like that?
Yes, well, the Ministry of Education stepped in. We partner with them on many of our projects, and they actually, once we became a legal preschool, they provide the food on the premises.
Well, that's good.
And then the parents come in and do the cooking for it.
Perfect. So it actually becomes government subsidized in that portion of the program.
Part, yes.
Oh, that's great, because then you have that extra partnership then created
Right.
with that. Next picture we have,
Oh, this is
your folks.
yeah, my mom and dad and the preschool teacher. This is in the early days when GoCare first started, and the partnership with the Rotary Club of Ventura East. They used to do a Christmas program each year, and as well as bring supplies to the preschool. And this is just one of those programs in the very early days.
Outstanding. Now, one thing I should point out to the audience, and that is that Jan Lindsay actually was one of only 2 foundation cadres, Rotary Foundation cadres or technical advisor volunteers within our district. So pretty amazing. I mean, he had a lot of experience in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Next picture. We have a picture, looks like
Oh, it's one of the classes.
yeah, it looks that way.
Well, GoCare does all kinds of programs. We do programs for the preschool age, elementary age kids, junior high, high school, and then there's the university scholarships. But then there's some people that aren't going to go on to university, and we offer vocational scholarships. And this is one of the vocational programs that we do in Nicaragua. So we give vocational scholarships to baking or sewing or beauty. We've done welding and electrical courses, and this is a baking group from a couple of years ago.
Okay, great. Now, do you also include with that or have the availability of actually having job placement come through this program also?
We have worked on that, and it's difficult because it's kind of who you know. But our sewing students, for example, we give them a sewing machine at the end of the program. And I'd say 90% of them have started their own business out of their home doing sewing services for people. Same with the baking group. Some of them are doing baking out of their homes and then baking stuff for the local hotels.
Oh,
so the job placement or the internships, we have worked on that, but also they're creating their own
That's
jobs.
good.
Yeah,
Oh,
their
that's
own
great.
businesses.
Good for them. Next picture you have shows a group, discussion group it looks like.
Well, do you want to talk about how when we go into a community, Jane?
This is a Rotary group here.
Okay.
And it's Rotarians from La Union, and I think you can even see Rotarians from up here, from the United States. And we're talking about the beginning phases of starting this grant, this global grant, the first global grant. And this global grant is in 3 phases, and we finished phase 1, almost finishing phase 2, and then phase 3 is going to be a construction of the whole building. And Michelle will probably tell you more about that. But this is one of the very first starting meetings about what are we going to do and what's best for you. We want to work with the people, the Nicaraguans, and to make sure that they have a real buy-in with the project.
So it's
and
kind of a
and they
needs
do.
assessment meeting
Needs
and
assessment.
planning.
Yeah,
Okay.
and planning meeting, and what they need and what they anticipate, and what groups of people we should work with for the education.
Great. Now you said there's 3 phases. Let's hear what the 3 phases actually are.
Do you want to take that on? Yeah.
Oh, of the global grant? Well, the global grant was so large, it was over $219,000. And of course, Rotary doesn't want to give all that money out at once. So we broke it up into 3 phases. And one of the phases is the community of Coajio Dos, where we finished. The second is La Union, and that one just finished we finished our part. We're waiting on Rotary for their part. And then the third phase, we bought property in Nicaragua last year to help make our programs in Nicaragua more sustainable. We do, all of our locations right now are agreements with the government where we provide adult education in lieu of paying rent for the facilities, or we've done refurbishment in lieu of paying rent. But the caveat is that we can't charge for our services. So last year we bought property. We're building a GoCare learning campus in Nicaragua. And at that facility we'll have preschool, vocational classes, English classes, computer labs, library, and administrative offices. And we'll be able to charge for some of our services on a sliding scale for the families that can afford it.
Great. So when you say phase 1, 2, and 3, it's actually geographic then? It's
Geographical
replicating
locations.
the same model?
Yes, all of our models are the same. Some facilities are larger than the other, and some are smaller, so we adapt it. But there's always a computer lab, there's always an English classroom, a library, with all of the local books that the schools in the community are using, so that the students have that for their homework and whatnot.
Great. Next picture we have is a picture of a classroom. Looks like it's well furnished, that's for sure.
Yeah, so this is in Cuajachillo. This is a finished classroom. We're showing the things that were purchased by the Rotary grant, which are the fans and the whiteboards. And this is actually being used by the school right now because we have an extra room, and so they've moved their desks into the classroom.
Okay, good. And then the next picture.
This is an adult education program in the community center in Pontanal, and this is just showing a group of our students that come in on the weekends. We start as just the basic of teaching them to read, some of these adults, that because they didn't finish the 6th grade, they really need this education so that they can operate their businesses. They're learning Spanish and math. And GoCare, through a partnership with the Ministry of Education, can actually give high school diplomas to the graduates.
Oh, that's outstanding. Looks like you have a good turnout there. It's got to be 30 people, 40 people in there.
It looks like a large class, yes.
Good job. Very outstanding. The next picture we see is of an outdoor classroom there.
This one's an outdoor classroom. Some of our students, after they went to the Leadership Academy, they came to us and they asked if they could do a project with us. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to offer after-school help to their students, to our students in the community. So this is a mentoring program where the older kids that have scholarships have come back and they help the kids after school.
Wow, that's paying back.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Next picture we have shows a library, I believe.
Library?
Yes, the first picture is the library in Pontanal,
Okay.
and this is our existing library. This is probably about 15 years old in this picture, so they really do take really good care of what we're doing down there. And then the following picture is all of the books that were purchased with funds from the Global Grant in the new community in Cuajachillo. And we have all of the books that are being used in the local schools, as well as some fun reading.
Okay, great. Then a picture following that one has a Rotary logo, brand new. It's got to be one of the newer builds.
Yes, this is in Cuajachillo. This was our grand opening in December. We had over 300 community members come, and it was a really exciting event.
And the last picture you have here.
The last picture is our community center in Pontanal that was built in 2006. And this looks like it's a group of our university kids. And we do the university scholarships for the students so that they can have a career.
Now, the university students, where are they coming from? Are they actually students of yours, or do they come in and assist?
These are university students that are GoCare students.
Wow.
So we've started a university preparation course about 3 years ago, and it's kind of like an SAT course. We give the students what they need to pass the entrance exam. University is free in Nicaragua if you can pass that exam.
Wow. 'Wow. 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 ' My question would be then, with all of these 3 great phases, what is the number of people you're actually reaching out to? Do you have any idea?
Okay.
Yes, we have over 4,500 graduates from our program so far, and we've served over 15,000 students. This year, we're on course to help 1,650 kids with the new locations that Rotary has helped us get online.
That is outstanding. That's definitely making a huge impact in the Nicaragua area. How do you see GoCare expanding out? Is it going to be a partnership with the people in Nicaragua, with the government, or do you see Nicaragua and GoCare, the actual GoCare organization, expanding?
I think we're going to keep doing what we do and partner when we need to partner with either the Ministry of Education or INATEC, which is the technical certificate you can receive in Nicaragua. I don't know how far we can grow. I think we need a break when we finish this global grant for a little bit.
It sounds like you have an outstanding model. I don't know if Rotary's going to let you have that break.
Well, one of the things we can go, there's plenty of areas in Nicaragua where we can build these learning centers. Each one of these learning centers has a big tower so that they can get the computers running that Rotary purchases for the computer classroom, which is a huge program down there. You really, when you get that computer down and you're learning to speak English, you're on to a very high-paying job. And these people that are, when we say impoverished, it's extreme impoverished people. And all these children and young adults that we have worked with, their lives are changing.
Have you considered the model actually being replicated in, for example, Honduras? Because it's very similar. I mean, literally, we're talking one mountain range apart.
We went when we went into Honduras. We did try it. We didn't do it the same way we started in Pontanal, though, because there was a relationship already built with the Rotarians in a community. And I find if we start with the community and build, you have to get their trust, and they have to believe in you. And
True.
we could do it, and I'd like to get back in Mexico too.
Yeah. Well, sounds good. Well, thank you both very much for sharing GoCare and GoCare's vision, that of Jan Lindsay's, and what you're doing in Nicaragua. Outstanding, and I think it's going to be a model definitely that's worth replicating around the world. So with that, thank you very much, and thank you everybody for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Take a look at it. It's GoCare. GoCare is one of the organizations that work in conjunction with Rotary, changing lives around the world. With that, thank you. We will see you next time. Nice job.